So the Grant Thornton Bike Zone cycling team has finally come of age and will shortly be flying to Kigali to compete in the Tour du Rwanda. Really exciting times ahead for Grant Thornton Bike Zone and Thailand. I'm joined today by Tri Pramoj. So Tri, the Tour du Rwanda. Exciting.
Yeah. Yes, very much, very much.
What can you tell and how important is that to the cycling world, I guess?
Well, Tour du Rwanda is the biggest UCI race in Africa. And I think particularly this year, because they're going to be holding the World Championship in 2025. So this year they really need to make a name for themselves. So the top guys from Tour de France are coming to take a look at the race. We have 19 teams, one world team, 5 pro teams. I think about 9 continental teams, which one of that is us, and then 4 national teams. So it's a really strong field this year. And we have the world team is Israel Premier Tech, which is where Chris Froome is in that team.
Yeah, I heard Chris Froome could be racing.
He could be.
Wow, that'll be exciting for the guys.
And then we have the pro team, which is the Peter Sagan's team. That I'm not sure if he's going to be coming or not. Right. Hopefully so. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting for the guys.
Because I mean, Chris Froome, to anyone in cycling, is like a household name. How many times did he win Tour de France?
I think 5 or 6 times. Yeah. So yeah.
About the same as Lance Armstrong, only he had managed to hang on to it.
Lance didn't win anything.
Exactly. So where's the team come from? Because I guess the first time they really took that next step up was in the Tour of Thailand.
Yeah.
That was last year.
Yeah.
And they sort of came in a little bit like on a wild card, but they've now gone to that new strength and are now a UCI continental team.
Yeah.
For those, what does it actually mean to be a UCI continental team?
Well, actually, it's the first step to being a pro, right? You have the national team, then you have the UCI continental team, and then after that you have the pro team, and then the world team. So to be UCI continental, basically we are racing on behalf of Thailand. So when we go to the races, we are representing Thailand, and if we do get UCI points, it counts towards the country, which means you have more chance of more quota for going to things like the World Championship or the Olympics, right? So the more UCI teams a country has, the more chance you have of getting UCI points, the more chance you have to going to Olympics and World Championship.
So how many UCI teams are there in Thailand?
Just 2.
2.
And we are the first private team.
So we've got the team.
We have.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how will the guys go? I mean, as much as we'd love them to win, how do you think they're up against some of the world's best? So how do you think they will come along?
We only started training last month and a half. And we were just UCI Continental team earlier this year in 2022. So in terms of preparation, I would say very minimal. So I'm not really expecting the boys to win any stages, but we expect them to actually be up there competing. So our coach said, if there's a breakaway, go.
Sure.
So just do your best. We're not expecting them much from them, but I'm sure they will give everything for the team.
I mean, it's probably more obvious why you and Bike Zone are involved with the team. I mean, Grant Thornton, which is probably not so obvious. We saw these guys as young guys almost being entrepreneurial and needing a hand to grow and unlock their full potential to go beyond. what you would normally get a kid cycling. And these guys come for some pretty interesting sort of frugal backgrounds, you know, and have really come on. But what did you see in the guys as Bike Zone? That's why Grant Thornton was involved. But what did you as Bike Zone see in these kids that have really blossomed?
Well, you know, Bike Zone, of course, we want to be the best in terms of community and performance in the cycling world, cycling industry in Thailand. So when we saw these kids, 5-6 years ago, we thought they had potential, right? They were 15, 16, 17, very young, and we gave them a chance. Hey, let's try racing, do some bicycle racing, and you know, within the year, they were just from being kids to being adults. They grew up really fast, and they put so much effort into training, and you know, after that first year, we knew that we had something, right? And again, these kids, as you said, their background is not fancy. You know, they live day by day. Education is, you know, basic education. So cycling for them was going to be a career. And as Bike Zone, we want to give the chance to them and to actually bring them to adulthood, and they can become role models for other kids, and you know, show Thailand or show the world that if you're passionate about cycling, you can actually turn this into a lifelong career. And you know, after racing, they can be coaches, they can advise other teams, and you know, it's a real they can be role models for young generations, and that's what Bike Zone wants to see the cycling industry develop and have more teams to go compete internationally.
Yeah, it was interesting you were saying earlier. So these kids that we identified and saw and helped them take their passion could well be the guys that are going to help Thailand as a country participate in the World Championships.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, last year we had one guy because that's the quota we got. But imagine if we have more races and more teams going out to races in Asia or around the world, you know, more chance we have to go into the World Championship.
How many hours a day are these guys cycling at the moment in the lead up to this?
They used to cycle every day. But with our new coach, they cycling 6 times a week, and they have 1 day off. And recovery is something that they just recently learned.
Okay.
You know, otherwise they would just go out and ride hard. But actually, their body needs to recover in order to get stronger. So now they're doing about 5 to 6 days a week, depending on the schedule. But yeah, I think that training has changed from before, and is a lot more effective now.
When I was training, when I used to train with you, I used to love the off days.
Yeah.
I was special. I was a specialty, you know, really good at the off days. I was an expert at that. So they're really going hard, and I guess they're learning.
Yeah.
A lot. So when do they actually go?
We leave on the 17th of February.
You're going with them?
I will be going with them. I will be looking after the team, and I'll be the driver.
Driver?
Of the car.
Oh, geez, I wish I could come with you. It'd be fantastic.
It's stressful, especially when you're going up and give them the water and feed them, and it can be stressful.
Do you ever look back and say, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have embarked on this journey?
No. I mean, since day one. All credits to Patrice and Pimoy. They gave everything to the boys, and and it's become the team we see now, and I think they can, and this is just the start. From now, they need to prove themselves. We've given everything we can. Grant Thornton Bike Zone, we've given everything they can now. Now it's up to them to actually go out there and prove that they can go beyond, not just Thailand, but compete internationally. I mean, one day, and we may see a Thai team in Tour de France. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I remember I had them on the stage a few years ago at one of our Grant Thornton events, and I predicted then that they were the group that would go to the Tour de France. Maybe it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek at the time. I thought, well, build them up, but they may well prove me right. I mean, we wouldn't have thought that they were going international at this stage and competing. I mean, wow, to be competing against the world best, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me about Sam, one of our riders, because last time he was, we called him upon him at short notice. I think he'd been sampling quite a few of his pizzas from his shop.
Yeah.
I saw him the other day, and he's looking lean and fit.
Sam is so strong now, but he has his ups and downs.
Yeah.
Sam was one of our rising star. 3-4 years ago, he got noticed by the national team, and I think the pressure kind of got to him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years ago, he kind of lost his way a little bit. His dad unfortunately had a stroke, so he had to take care of his dad. And he was trying to find himself during that time, and then during COVID as well, the first year of COVID. So he tried to nutrition, to have what do you call it, keto.
All right.
Different things he was trying, and he put on a lot of weight and didn't really cycle much, and he kind of got a bit lost. And then when we had the chance to do Tour of Thailand in 2020, I mean, you have pictures of him. He's quite big. So that was when he came back. He raced, didn't really do that well because it hasn't really been training, but that was the turning point, and he actually found himself, got more motivated, got the passion back in cycling, and now he's a totally different person. And I think that's something that Grant Thornton and Bike Zone wants to see. And when we talk about development, we mean personal as well, in not just performance cycling, but in terms of personal development. He's come of age. He's very responsible, very hardworking. He now has a job, and very professional. So he's the kind of guy that this is the story that we like to see.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. But a lot of people think of cycling as an individual sport.
Yeah.
And this is definitely, we are part of the Grant Thornton Bike Zone cycling team. And they go as a team. And I when you see the guys together, you're not seeing one guy. When we talk about Sam, because it's a fantastic story of how he's changed. But the team and how they come together as a team, it's one. It's not who wins. It's I don't want to win. I want the team to win, and whether that be me or whether that be Sam or whether it be Nick, it doesn't matter. We want one of them to be there, and they share everything. So I love how they are as a team and go together. How do you see that?
Well, I mean, I think we're so fortunate. I mean, most of them are from the south, Hat Yai and Phuket, and they get on so well together. They live together, they eat together, they play together, and it's so nice to see when they're together. And for them, as you said, cycling is a team sport, But you always have one guy or two guys who will, the team will be working for those people, But when they win, they share everything. And I think we've drilled that into their heads as well. That, for example, when we sent them to France for l'Etape,
yeah, that's right.
We said if one guy wins the l'Etape Thailand, we'll send the whole team because it's a team sport, right? We never thought they will win, but they got the yellow jersey, they got the polka dot jersey, they got the green jersey, they got the white jersey. So they pretty much wiped the slate, clean. They won everything, and so we sent them the whole.
That's right.
Eight of them to l'Etape in France. So again, it's to show that it's a team sport. Yes, the person who won gets the stage time and everything, but actually, the whole team is behind that success.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, I love it, and sort of one of our values. Yeah. We all should live, but certainly at Grant Thornton, live the value of collaboration, and that's what brings you together. So really exciting. Tri, look, it's a great story. I get goosebumps just sitting here talking to you and thinking where we've come from, and I'm really excited. And I know you've got a lot to do because it's only a matter of days before you go. Yeah. So look, as always, great to speak to you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And make sure the guys really go and hand out lots of water.
Water, nutrition, give them encouragement.
I know with you and with Patrice, the team will do well and really make Thailand proud. So,
and thank you to Grant Thornton. Thank you, Ian. I mean, we couldn't have come this far without you.
Great. Really enjoy it. Thanks.
Cheers.
Good to see you.